The next episode of the Community Workbench podcast is brought to you by yours truly, Matt Norton, Remax Bell Park Realty. Give me a call for any of your real estate needs, commercial, residential, tenants, landlords, investors. I'm here for you. 860-428-6534. Your dreams are my job. The Community Workbench podcast is opening up more and more opportunities to advertise with us. We could do a commercial like my Remax commercial at the beginning of any or all episodes. We'll also do live reads, and we can also have you on the mid to late week reminder. Just give us a call or reach out via social media, email, communityworkbenchpodcast@gmail.com. Welcome to the Community Workbench. This is Matt Norn and Kyle Morrissey. We are your hosts of the #1 podcast in my basement. We have risen to the top of our stools to bring you small business entrepreneurs, community leaders, charities, and pretty much whoever we feel like talking to. And now to anyone out there watching or listening, get in a good mood and give a warm welcome to From Sun to Moon's Jonathan Peterson and Haley Mann. Hey, John. Hey, Haley. How are you?
We're good. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, I'm glad we could get this in. Little extra podcasting I always love. So, I don't know. Maybe start out with where you guys are from, your journey to Connecticut, because I know you're not originally from around here.
No, no, actually, I'm from Colorado originally, born and raised, lived there my whole life, and just kind of started out there in the events industry about 19 years ago. Just started in my dad's radio booth when he was radio DJing, and kind of saw that I liked the excitement and the different events and things that are going on, and just kind of stepped into that kind of industry and just built from there. And then being in Colorado my whole life, just kind of boring to me.
Okay.
So our lease was up and was interested in coming back home to help her parents move the house, and just said, why not? Let's try something new.
I'm originally from Madison. I was born in Madison, Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Well, Meriden to be specific. But when I was about 6, we moved to New Jersey, and my parents were there for 19 years. I moved out to Colorado after I graduated. So October 2020, prime pandemic. I road tripped out to Colorado with my sister and spent 3 years there. That's where we met.
Awesome.
And yeah, like you said, my parents sold our childhood home. Our lease was up. We finished jobs and just came out here and decided after the holidays that we were going to stay. It's really convenient and nice to be by family. And when you have a dog, it's nice for them to be around people instead of being home alone. And it's just been really good for her.
Yeah. What's your background as far as event planning? Because that's what you guys do, am I right?
Yeah, so I actually have my bachelor's in psychology.
Oh.
And a minor in studio art. So I have concentration in painting and drawing. So that's kind of where my design comes in. So the first event that I did with Jonathan, I was like, wow, I really like putting the decor together, putting the design together, making the space something more.
Yeah.
And then being able later to see people interact with it.
Yeah.
In that space that you put together was just a really kind of magical, just like seeing everyone experience something that you put together. And yeah, so I kind of fall more on like the design end of things. It's where most of my interest lies, but I also love to build. My dad is very much so a handyman, and I picked that up when I went to college. I was like, oh, I'm going to build my furniture. And it's like, okay, I really like building this stuff. Like, let's do more. So just the things that you can put together just with your two hands it was a different medium to me than just paint and a paintbrush or a pencil. And it's just been a really cool experience for me as a creative.
Right. So all these events are basically one big artistic creation for you. That must be amazing. So that's like,
Yeah.
like you're following your passion.
And it's
to do
tangible,
this.
right?
Yeah.
Like you can
Right.
see a space like totally transformed and then interact in that space.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And
I
it's
remember-
different than people just looking at a painting.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember, like, you know, if you're, I've been on framing crews and trim crews and cabinet crews and whatnot, but like framing crew, you see a lot go up in a day because it's, you know, erecting the structure. And then I would imagine with when it comes to go time with the event, because you probably only have that hall or that venue for so long, so you gotta like
Yep.
hustle
go.
and see a huge transformation, you know, in small amount of time, right?
Yeah. We've done massive flips in an hour
Wow.
where you are changing a whole space, taking down, putting up in just an hour.
Now, is it just you two that do it, or you have help on those specific times?
On the big jobs, we have help.
Yeah.
But we have done events where it is just us two
Wow.
setting everything up. But it's stressful and your body aches and your knees might hurt the next day because you were on the floor for 5 hours putting things on a game board because that's, you know, what you decided to do for an event, and it just pays off. And just, I tell him, I'm like, in the moment it sucks and you're like, man, I wish I had more people. But then after, it's like, we did that. And
Yeah.
we're a great team, and we love working with other people too. Collaborating with others, obviously, as creatives is the biggest thing, and people see things that you don't. And
Right.
it's just super fulfilling.
Yeah, I can imagine. Plus the roller coaster of you know, planning and the anticipation, and then it's go time to decorate, and then the event. It probably puts you on a whole nother level watching people and the excitement, and then. I don't know. Do you guys usually clean up, or is there a cleanup crew?
That's us. Just
And then
from,
there's that.
you know, it feels like by the time the event starts, you're already thinking about how you have to clean up everything at the end, and the event almost sometimes feels like a blur.
Right.
Honestly, which is sad sometimes, but sometimes you're just so in it
Yeah.
that 4 hours, 5 hours is just like gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the event's over, and all of a sudden, everything that you spent months working on is just over.
Rip down in a half
Like,
hour.
Exactly. I mean, it takes longer to rip it down than it does to put it up
Right.
every time.
Wow.
And the reward is when you're taking it down, right? Everything's over. You've like completed it, and now it's like that's when you have time to think, right? You're the only ones there
Yep.
most of the time.
Most of the
And,
time.
and you know, so then you can reflect on everything, depending upon how long you have to take it down.
Yeah. I usually love to just pull him aside and be like, all right, let's take a moment just for us,
Yeah.
a few minutes.
Ride the high.
Then we
a
can
little
go
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
clean everything up. But like, let's enjoy that we just did that.
Yeah.
And we put on this event, and it was great. And,
Right.
you know, let's just soak that up for a second because we didn't get to necessarily enjoy it during.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm sure once you get either the next day or if your weekend's packed with multiple events, then like that day that you get where you're just decompressing must be
Oh, yeah.
this is so much
Yeah.
relief.
It is. Funny enough, that's our Mondays.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's like a restaurant. That's the day you're closed. You can relax.
Yeah.
It's your weekend, right?
Yeah.
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 So how about you? How's your event planning background and how did it get up?
I would say it started off. Worked with a company in Colorado. Kind of started out with them as Pink Monkey, and kind of like learned everything from them and took it underneath my belt just as much as possible. Just started learning everything I can get my hands on, and then I just kind of dabbled into different companies as I left them, and florists, and then just kind of figuring out every little part I can take. You know, I was just raised, you should learn a little bit of everything if you can underneath your belt.
Right. Yep.
So I took that and then kind of started my own business, and then was doing the creative things because my ADHD just constantly just pushes me to go,
Yeah.
and just try to design. And my mind is always thinking of outside the box and figuring out what they can do, you can do with this. And so my event world was taken from learning from setting up the weddings from the other companies, but then I just wanted to be a little bit different when I do our events, just in the matter of giving back more and just supporting the community more. And then the events that they had are all the same, which is fine. But we're creative, so we just like to be different and just bring something that is more immersive, interactive, engaging to the community and also just to give back to more than just the
Right.
same people
Yeah.
that get given back to, which is a blessing and thankful for that. But there's so much more out there.
Yeah.
But the events just can always be different, in my opinion. I've always saw you can always do something different and still bring the same attraction. I think people want that more, but I feel like the decor, lighting, and sound just brings a whole nother. I mean, it's like a playground.
Right. Oh, okay.
It's like an art
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah.
You could just
Yeah.
do whatever you want and just produce kind of anything with anything if you have it. But it's just events in my world is just it's like fun, like a playground. So I'm
Yeah.
always interested in something new or different in a room when you see it that you can see and visualize things that people can't. So it's just nice to have that capability than most.
Yeah.
And so then we just rolled that over from us learning all that from back from company to company to company and then just took it into our own.
Mhm.
And now we're just trying to prove that there is other support and local and things that can bring better in the world than just their normal events.
Right. Right. Yeah. So, and you do more than just weddings, more than just dances. You.
Yeah, I would say our main thing we started was weddings for decor, lighting, sound, and then we kind of ventured off once the pandemic hit and started doing neon signs, LED box signs, and like neon flex signs.
Wow.
Just because we couldn't leave the house, so we're just producing them out of the garage, and then that kind of took off, and then so that kind of added to our belt, and then we just did a little bit more of just hosting our own events, just like they give back to the community. But I would say just design, decor, lighting, and custom neons. And then DMT companies, which I'm finding out there aren't really too many here. It's like
What's-
a destination management company.
Oh, okay.
So they get hired by like the higher corps, and then they will bring in smaller people to do the lighting, the DJing, but they don't do that really much here. But we
For
would
corporate events.
yeah, we'd usually build a lot of things. Like they would send us pictures of these tables or these mic stands, and we need 20 of those built. And so we would usually do that in Colorado, but there's nothing like that I'm finding here. So DMT companies are different, but it's just beginning just to host our own events and the neon signs if needed. But we really want to do a lot of our own stuff just because we're finding out the community out here is different, which is fine.
I've heard that from so many people.
yeah.
There's
But
so
it's
many
great
different
to
ways.
see it, and then it just gives you an opportunity to be more loving and more supportive, and to just show that this community is out there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just nice to see that because we experienced that a lot in Colorado.
Right. Right.
But yeah, no, we pretty much do the lighting, decor, sound, and then neon signs, and then she handles a little bit of the flyer making, all the behind the scene graphic design, but that's pretty much it for on our side of doing things.
Do you guys still do the signs here? Like
Yeah.
the neon signs here? Yeah. Do you have a workshop somewhere? Or
Oh, just the garage. Like,
Yeah.
Right now we're just living with our parents, staying with them, so we're just gonna like work when we get them. We'll work in the garage, but lately you can really make it in your house. What people don't understand, the neon sign is not difficult. It's just, I mean, open flame gas is argon gas, but a lot of people aren't wanting that because they break easily, so they're going with the neon flex. But you can just make that in your house.
So it's not glass anymore. Because when I was younger, 19, I had a business and we lined the window with the neon. But it was glass. Like you couldn't let any kid near it or anything like
Glass is better. It's just lasts longer if you take care of it. But neon flex is just durable, and you can throw it around and you're still fine.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, we do them here. We do signs here. We do custom builds. We do pretty much anything that anyone would like on that fabrication side and neon.
Do you have a website for that? You guys do anything on it?
It's actually almost. It was supposed to be up today, matter of fact, but the guy had an issue, so I apologize. But it will be up either end of the day or tomorrow. But the website, yeah, we have Facebook and Instagram at the moment.
Okay, yeah. But once it's up, feel free to add it to the comments
Okay.
of this or whatever you get, so
Yeah.
that it'll actually be in there.
Yeah,
Thank
I was on your Facebook there, and it says creating intimate and immersive spaces for everyone. So that was kind of like your slogan. Sorry,
That's another made up word.
Made it. Yeah, it's my thing, I guess. And then you have your Gmail from sun to moon 22 at gmail.com. And your Instagram handle from sun to moon 22. And then your phone number is 720-384-8477. I just like to get that out there. I'll plug it a few more times before the end of the episode. But then, I don't know if sometimes when I'm listening to a podcast, I'll go right to what they're talking about
Yeah.
online. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some people do.
That people
Just they're curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
But yeah, that's great. So, like, what's your territory of where you'll go to do an event? Like how far?
Honestly, I wouldn't say
Anywhere
that.
and everywhere.
Yeah, there's no territory only because we believe in, like, it's funny out here. You think we heard the other day someone say there's like here's a town, say Clinton, and then here's the mountain, and then here's the town, and say Madison. People will not go that 25 minutes,
No.
saying that's too far.
Yeah.
But we're used to like 2 hours, an hour and a half. So we're like, that's nothing. Like, that's like a nice little car ride. Get out of the house, go
Yeah.
to 2 hours away, but we'll go anywhere. We do jobs in Boston, New York, Jersey, wherever it takes us. We actually travel as well. Stuff in Colorado as well, Nashville, LA. But we want to stay kind of like more here and build this in this community, just because, just I feel like it needs it, just from everything we're hearing from all the vendors and all the people out there and stuff. So it's just like, I think it's time just to start building this more and just show that that support's there. But we'll go anywhere.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you're basically starting with a clean slate almost every event, right? So, what does it matter if it's here in Connecticut or California somewhere? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So,
It definitely brings different crowds,
yeah,
though. I would
sure.
say different events bring different crowds
Yeah.
for sure. But that's why we like to do all of them,
Right.
because why not? We don't have like a specific, not niche, but like the way our events are, it's always different. And when it's always different, not just the setup, but the people that we bring are different. The crowds that are brought are different. It's a totally different, like you said, it's a clean slate. So it's a totally different event.
Now, how do you that to me sounds even more challenging, that it is so different every time, especially across the country. Like we talked about in this part of the country, like social media is not as prevalent, right? And in California, Boston, LA, right, those are. So how do you adapt to be able to know, okay, we're in this community, this is how we need to do this event, or we're here, this is how we need to do this event?
If it's not prior knowledge or experience, it's just experiencing it. Sometimes you don't know something until you do it.
Right.
So coming out here, being from the East Coast, I kind of know how people are. My mom's side is New York. Both my parents are from Brooklyn.
Oh,
So I get that kind of vibe, from East Coasters. I am an East Coaster.
Right.
But for him coming from Colorado, it was like a culture shock. He was like, why are these people, very straightforward.
Yeah.
If they want to do something, they will. If they don't, they'll tell you. And, it's different community, different building of people in the community. It's just being in a whole different space, and we're learning it.
yeah.
Because some people, just like everywhere, are totally different than the majority of the people that are in a certain place. So we've definitely started to tap into those people that have similar mindsets as us in regards to business and growing and connecting in that way, which has been really nice. Within a sea of no's, you'll get a yes
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's just what we're finding, just kind of learning the space that you're in and the people that are around you, and just adapting to it.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
that's
have
what
to
I like.
change your approach, right?
Yeah, changing approach, but I like that it doesn't change the work we put in or the outcome that we put into something. You adapt and, you make compromises, but I like how we don't have a set, this is how it needs to be every single time.
Right.
Right.
It's just you work with it, and
Yeah.
you work with the people, and you pull it off maybe in a different way that you pulled something else off. But it's just different, and we adapt, and I think that's what's really good about being creative, is just having that adaptability when it comes to things like that, and being able to work with different people in different spaces and do different things.
I would imagine with the different, cultures that you get into, and when there's a tough, let's say a tough sell, like New England is, all those no's. But does the yes become a more appreciated yes? Like when you do get that yes, is that client typically like, okay, now you're my event planners for life kind of thing? That's I've never sold in a different territory than New
Yeah.
England, so I don't
Yeah.
know anything. But I feel like my clients have always, once you get that yes out of them, or you get to work with them,
Yeah.
it's like now you're friends, and that's a hardened bond a little longer.
Yeah, that's what we've been finding out, which is amazing because, as you all probably know, as someone gets to know you, then it's obviously easier for them to really like you and everything. But that's what I've learned here is like she was saying is the yes is it takes some time, but that's fine. Like if you're in business, you get the no's, but the yeses do bring a better overcome outcome. Like finally yes, but we always tell ourselves we are the sauce. I feel like people need what we have, just in a different way of like providing the charismatic, personable, above and beyond. No one's gonna do that just because of what experiences we see out there now and what events we go to and what markets and what. So it's just researching and paying attention and listening, and but then getting that yes, you're like, oh, finally. So now, like you said, they want you to be their planner. And now you get reached out to, which is amazing and blessed to have opportunities that we've never had before,
Right.
reaching out to us to ask us, well, we want to maybe sit down and make you the planner for us for, because we don't have that, or we want to bring you on to our like nonprofit possibilities, or so that's just amazing to get those people reaching out now saying that just because of who we are and what we bring to the table. I feel like it's very beneficial for anyone we work with, just because we're kind of old school where we do like to shake people's hands, get in front of your faces. This is who we are, because that matters. But it doesn't happen this much anymore, which is kind of why we're doing these to bring people back to those days where you can, go ask the neighbor to borrow sugar, or
Oh, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just not there anymore.
Right.
So we just, get the yeses, and it just keeps, bringing more of our ambition out. Like this is what we're doing it for, and it does take time. We know that. It's just, yes, it comes, but we just feel like every time we meet someone, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. Don't take
Yeah.
it personal and thank them, and then hey, still help them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know who they know, right? Maybe
Right.
it becomes selfless acts, right? But in the end, I mean, that's how you guys got to us, actually.
Yeah.
We don't even know who referred us.
I forgot the lady's name. It's like the Soho House or Soho Chaos. I forgot the lady's name, but she just couldn't be involved in our event. She referred you guys and said maybe they'll help you out. And
Social chaos.
so I think it was
I think
her.
I looked her up. Neither of us knew who she was.
Yeah, I don't know how she
I
maybe
just
just followed.
remember
And
when he said chaos, I'm like, I have no idea who goes by chaos.
it may have been Kat, the life coach.
Okay.
It may have
Okay.
been her, but it's just hard because we've been talking to so many vendors.
Yeah.
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 Well, shout out to whoever if she's listening, or if that chain of people that how our names got to her, if that chain is listening, thank you very much.
Yes, thank
we really
you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, but that's the nice sense of the community, right? That gets back to grassroots of just like word of mouth referrals.
mouth referrals.
I mean, before social media, what did you do? You had to have word of mouth. You had to have somebody say, "Hey, yes, I bought a house from him," and so forth. You should definitely call him, and that's the best compliment you can have is somebody giving you business. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, even as a contractor, even now when I work with contractors, they in this area they love word of mouth. A lot of times when people get your name from like a commercial or a placemat, that they're gonna usually put you through more scrutiny as to who you are before they sign a contract with you, and that to me that makes sense because you know them from a piece of paper or from a commercial. You don't really know them from your friend gave you their name. So, but like the word of mouth, like people love referring people. I think that's a natural thing. Like, hey, I know someone for that. I have a guy for that. That kind of thing. And if you can be that guy for enough people, and that consists of obviously hard work and dedication, and and then you can make a nice living for yourself, and that's all we can ask for, right?
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
goal.
So, and if you make enough of a nice living, you can pay it forward, which I find that almost every entrepreneur I've ever met always is looking for that day to give back or to pay forward. And I just think sometimes they get a bad rap or whatever about, oh, he owns the company, he's rich or whatever. And I just think there's a certain point where you're gonna be watching the numbers, and then in a company's infancy, you kind of have to watch the numbers, and then sometimes it's tough to come out of that mindset. You know what I mean? Like if you're making good money and you have that extra to give back, sometimes it's just tough to switch that mindset. Like because you were scraping, like you came from a garage building stuff, or we're in a podcast studio in my basement. It's like you kind of come from nothing, and then changing that mindset to, okay, let's pay forward, let's give it back, and then but for some of the multi millionaires around this area that I've met and talked to, they are the most generous people, like, and just want to see other people succeed like they did, and that paying it forward also spreads like word of mouth, like, oh, someone did me a favor, I'm going to do them a favor, and so on and so on.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that's really how the majority of the population wants to be. I just feel like sometimes, like, mainstream media doesn't really portray that very well at all.
It's true.
So kudos to you guys for taking a big risk, moving your operation out and diving into one of the harder territories of our nation to sell anything. and I didn't really even realize that until I was brief. Had come out on my own. I was young as a contractor, so to speak, and I was at the supply house, and a guy that sells a national brand of screws says, I've sold in territories of Canada and all over U.S. New England's the hardest. So I don't know if anyone knows about screws. Kyle and I do. So they used to have a Phillips. They had a flat head, then a Phillips head, and now it's square. And well, now it's Torx. So they've even changed it again. But when we were getting into the square bit, like, he's like, I couldn't sell one screw in New England until I finally realized I have to give you guys a bit. So that's why there's a bit in that brand of screws. There's a free bit that comes with it, because he couldn't. Every contractor, he'd go on their job site and be like, hey, you want to try a screw? It's better, doesn't strip out as well, as easy. And he was like, nope. Everybody was like, nope. And then he finally said, well, what if I give you a bit? And they're like, I guess I'll try it. It was like that.
Kudos to him, because now everybody does that.
Yeah. It's funny because I buy those. I don't know if they're the same brand, but if they didn't have the bit, I wouldn't use them. But it comes with a bit.
Yeah.
The Scorpion was my go-to screw for the entire, like, that's when I bought a trailer and outfitted it, that right over the axle I had the 30-pound boxes of every denomination of screw.
They're better.
And now they're all going to Starbit, which upsets me a little bit, but
Just because it's harder now. I've had a couple of those, and they just when they strip, they're done.
yeah.
Well, I think it's they're made cheaper, softer metal. But you guys use screws, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk about how you build out your booths and whatnot?
Just depends. That's kind of another thing too. Is we try to switch up the booth styles every time too.
Yep.
So our last event was kind of drywall, was kind of sponsored, so we took that drywall and built 8x8 booths with the drywall screws and the sheets and 2x4.
Frame it out with 2x4s. Yeah.
And then we did fabric booths. So that's what we're doing on this one coming up. But fabric booths are a little bit different, just more soft and flowy and elegant. And then we do acrylic booths, acrylic wall booths with kind of LED lighting, and then chain link fence booths. We got an art show coming up. We'll send you guys later on about chain link booths. Just try to change it up, just to give you different vibes and feelings when you walk into for the atmosphere. So it's not always the same old like 6-foot table. Oh, okay. No, nothing.
Now, do you guys keep the materials?
No, we actually either donate it back to whoever could
awesome.
use it.
Yeah.
Or because the drywall, we actually donated it back to, I forgot the company name, Gateway House. It was like a women's battery shelter.
Mm-hmm.
But then another friend of mine's dad took a lot of it because he used it to build. I forgot what it was. But then I helped my other contractors that would help us. They took someone to build, their garage.
Yeah.
So I just try to help out, like you guys saying, is barter, and they help me, with anything I would need. Or so we do donate it if we can. But other than that, sometimes venues will like to keep it, or sometimes people at the event will, if depending on what it is, like fabric or booths. Some of them took it for curtains at home,
Yeah.
or the kids' bed thing where they make the little mosquito net, or so it's always used for something. It's never just thrown away.
Right.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So, when you want to talk about this expo coming up that you got going on here?
You want to start it off? I would say so. The Women's Own, Women's Empowered event. That's a nice flyer, huh? Haley made that.
Yeah. It's a big flyer.
Yeah, so it's Women's Own, Women Empowered, and it's going to be at Hope Lodge with Susie.
They can't even see you.
Yeah, so she kind of reached out. And we were asking her to check out the venue and set up a meeting, and kind of gave us our chance, like you guys were saying. She believed in us, showed her videos of the past, and then so we created this event because of Women's Empowerment Month. And so we just want to do an event here that's more, it's immersive, engaging, interactive, like deeper, intimate connection event. So it's where, we customize the booths come in, and this one we're going to be building out 28 6x6 fabric booths. But the booths are going to be coming from the ceiling to floor. And if you've been in Hope Lodge, the ceiling is, 20 feet high? So it's going to be nice and flowy and elegant when you walk in, change the whole vision. And you walk in and we'll have like a live entertainer. Entertainment is going to be hopefully a celloist or a violinist. And we'll have that live, and we have live art.
Somebody local, I assume.
Yeah, we're actually
That's
still
awesome.
looking for a woman musician. If there is anyone listening that can help with that or knows anyone. But we have a live artist. It's Haley's friend. She's
actually coming from Massachusetts. But she's incredibly talented, and as an artist myself, just as creatives, we like having those live kind of aspects of our event.
Right.
I feel it's more engaging to people,
Oh yeah.
and for us, I mean, we go to so many events where they have a DJ, and you can't even talk to people because the music's so loud, and there's no even possibility of that connection. You just end up grabbing cards, emailing later. So we really like the connectivity aspect and people being able to relax. I mean, he is a lighting professional, so the ambiance is always set, and it's just a really nice time.
Yeah, if
But-
you create an immersive experience for people, it becomes less of like looking at businesses and more of just like a day out that you can go enjoy and see what's in the community,
Exactly. It gives them a time to really benefit, in my opinion, instead of just going to a market and, just get purchased from, or that's it, and you don't see them for the rest of your life, or maybe hear about them for about a year, or they like the product and then
Yeah.
call back. But it's more of like you come in and then you're being able to really deeper connect with women-owned businesses that are all around Connecticut and Mass and New Jersey and New York. Some are coming from all over, so it's just a chance to really see who's really out there. And it's not just vendors of candle makers, coffee maker. No, it's like women-owned, like life coaches, house organizers. So it's like businesses, and we have like a realtor woman. We have so it's just amazing to see that from the community, and them reaching out to see that there's no networking events out here. I mean, the ones that
Right.
they have, just from what we've been hearing from vendors, is there's nothing like this, which is amazing to see. That we'll be the first to do an event like this to really show people what they've been missing. But it's more, you come in, you'll network, and we have Target came on board. Shout out to Target, thank you. They came on board for the gift bags and their tropical smoothies. Going to be handing out smoothies during the event.
Wow.
We're hopefully going to get Liberty Farms. We haven't spoke to them yet, but they reached out wanting to be involved to
Yeah.
come and bring their carriage to give horse ride.
Holy moly.
We just got Nibbles and Noms food truck in. I don't know exactly what they do, but it's pretty different. It's
Yeah.
unique, and they're going to come on board. But there's a lot of different vendors that are just different, and it's
Yeah.
going to bring something different to the game, where it's like, whoa, this is a nice immersive interactive experience with real beneficial networking. I made something out of this. Wasn't
Right.
funny maybe, but it was like the networking. Now that lady asked me to be in her liquor store to sell my stuff for
Right.
consistency.
Well, plus so it's not just this community, right? So everywhere somebody comes from is their community.
Exactly.
And if they network and then it creates revenue for them, they spend that money in their community,
Exactly.
right? And so if extends farther than just this radius around where the event
Yeah,
is.
and that's the point. We want to get this as far out as we can, and just to support like all of our businesses, because it's not just me and Haley, it's all of us. It takes all of
Right.
us to come in to really put the work in, post the flyer 2 times a week. Like it takes all of us to just bring us together, and then it's not just for us. This is a proof of concept for everyone involved, and because we do go above and beyond, like she was saying, we do put your logo on a 10 by 10 step and repeat banner for like a VIP, access point for people to tag or get your photo out there more. And then we have a professional videographer coming out to do drone footage of the whole event, and then before and promo shots and this, stuff's in action, so they can use this video for more than just this is a proof of concept. No, that's your marketing video. That's the video showing you what you did. But then people don't realize, it's hard to get people to realize, like, if you think about it marketing ways, how much we're marketing you in a way to where $100 for a booth is really nothing. You're just paying for the marketing on the banner, marketing for the video, marketing in the bags, marketing for just pushing that. And that's, to me, not even about that. It's just me about getting us to put your information and get your business out to all these other businesses more, because that's needed, as we all should come together and just start working together and get in that way. But our event, it's amazing for us to be the first one to do this and be able to really support local entrepreneurs, women owned, and like this isn't the first one. It's just women owned we started with, because this is very important, women's empowerment, and just to get that started off and kind of boost us. And then we got next ones planned already. But this event, I feel like, is getting a lot of feedback, which is a blessing. And it's just like so many women owned businesses that don't.
Yeah.
I'm not from here, but you can hear about a lot of women owned businesses, from everywhere, just depending on who you are. But there's just so many we're getting reached out by, which is just amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched on get a booth and do your marketing from it, like, and especially if it's you decorate it and it's a big immersive event and everything looks totally different. Having that booth that looks totally different, that's a great time to start doing your selfies and your do it for the gram moment. And being able to do that is more than worth the $100. You know what I mean? I think about how long it's taken us to set up the studio, and you guys kind of do that plus times whatever many booths. You know what I mean? Like every event, that's a lot of talent, a lot of skill, and you articulated that really well. I'm excited to see the success of this. And just so anyone listening and not seeing the slide, it is March 2nd, 2024, from 11 to 5 p.m. Free to attend. Hope Lodge venue, 1 Lake Street, Moosup, Connecticut, 06354. And do you still have openings for vendors?
Yeah, we have a couple spots left, and if we don't have a spot left, I would say, like, if anyone listening, we show love, so we support. We'll put your logo on a banner if you don't even get involved. Just all I ask is if you help support the community with giving something to the raffle back to them. That's it. But then we'll do the same in marketing. Help you with the bags, help you with the banner, help you with the video, just to support you on a deeper level and give back to the
Nice.
community. That's it.
Wow, that's awesome. That's other entrepreneurs will understand how valuable that is. And that's just it's a huge thing. And to be in our small towns of Moosup,
Yeah.
I love it. I love, like, I can't wait to interview more people that are just like, I'm still doing this in my kitchen, and we live on this back road in Woodstock or out
Yep.
in Union or something like that. Like, and that's such a big deal to me to showcase these people that literally come out of the woodwork or forest with
Yep.
just a hobby or something they're passionate about, and they're trying to go full time. Definitely, before we leave here, if you don't know him already, JG Creations with John Jenna, I think you guys would work together so well with him. He
did those for us,
Oh, wow.
Oh,
and he
Yeah.
did these hats
really
for
nice.
us.
Oh, this is great.
And,
Yeah.
He's also
I didn't even notice till right now that there's an opener on this.
Cool,
Oh,
smart.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
A
Did
bottle
my-
opener.
my
Yeah.
mug here because we're in scouts
Yeah.
together. That's how I met John. You know, it's a little thing here. It says scouting just 1 hour a week, and then it's all these guys laughing, and then it has my name and well, I guess this is someone has called it our family crest. So my wife drew this for our wedding, and our wedding was outfitted with that for
Is that a mosquito?
dragonfly with our initials and
No, that looks good though. That cup.
yeah, the laser engraving that he's been doing is amazing, and he's got a hat press, a t-shirt press. He's been doing all that type of stuff that you would need for marketing, and he's a super creative guy and loves the idea of like something different coming through. So yeah,
great,
We'll
yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
Yeah.
give you
Definitely
guys
connect with
his
him.
number
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, he's local to Brooklyn. He's got a Facebook page. I'll hook you up with it, and he's got everything on there. His website's linked and everything. But
Yeah, he was on here when we didn't have the switcher. We didn't have everything set up, so I'll definitely have him on probably somewhere before Christmas because he'll have a big push for Christmas. He always runs a sale and stuff like that. So, but then we'll be able to really put him on the split screen with his portfolio and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Or get everyone on this podcast from that vendor show too.
yeah,
okay.
They
Oh, yeah.
told them about it, and they're interested. It's just obviously you got to meet them and then explain more about it, and because I feel like they all should benefit off of getting on here, like every single business.
yeah. And I think it's sometimes hard for people to conceptualize what this is.
Yeah.
Right. And like we know what it is sitting
Yeah.
around a podcast, but some people don't listen to them, and some people,
true.
And so we're on Spotify. So if you don't want to watch it, you can go on Spotify and listen, or we're on YouTube. You can or go to the Facebook page and you can watch it there too. So
It's
Yeah,
great.
And so, just so you know, last night I was I started scrolling down to the bottom of our page, like posts from early on our Community Workbench Facebook page, and remember how the live things were 30
Deleted.
days and they
Yeah.
would time out and delete. They deleted the video, but they didn't delete the post.
oh, okay.
So I was able to go in and edit, put
Add
our
the-
hashtags in
Oh, nice.
use
Oh,
now,
nice.
and I put the YouTube link.
Oh,
to
sweet.
it. So it's like you can still scroll down and
Can you
Yeah.
add? Oh yeah. You wouldn't be able to add the video back, but yeah.
yeah,
I don't think it deletes anymore because now we go live on the computer, so
Right.
it's a strange.
yeah, it was such
I
a
don't know.
strange thing. And-
Technology.
oh yeah, and when we first started on my phone, just from camera 5 angle, it I got one in where we could have the phone horizontal, and that's how the studio is set up for like a horizontal landscape.
Yeah.
And then Facebook Live upgraded, and they wouldn't let you go horizontal. You had to keep the phone vertical, and so that was like a real narrow shot of this. And it's just like all these little speed bumps we've hit.
Little technicalities.
Some
Yeah.
of them were quite big speed bumps. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to go over them, right?
Yeah.
In different ways, but
Yeah.
they're always there.
I mean, I'm sure you we have pretty much duplicate, triplicate, quadruplicate this process and just
Yeah.
keeps going over, right? But for you guys, it's like different every time.
Yeah.
And you have to it's not reinventing the wheel. You have to figure out how you're going to best build out this expo or whatever for the clients that are going to be coming, for the businesses that are going to be there. And so that's crazy.
Just keeps it
Yeah.
fun.
It
Yeah.
keeps it different. And like I said, as creatives, that's just what gives us that passion to keep going.
Yeah.
Is just, I mean, even as a young student in school, I never wanted to read what my teachers were giving me, but I would read what I wanted to read. And when I was reading what I wanted to, I had way more of an interest in doing it.
Right, right.
Which then to translate that into what we do when we're putting events on, or even if you're working with a client that gives you that creative freedom, it just becomes more so of a passion project than it does a job,
Right.
Yeah.
because you're doing something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And it's just different, and you can put all of your energy into it and enjoy it rather than going
Right.
to a job that, you hate every day.
Yeah, especially if basically people kind of know what they want the event. They give you some specifications, and then after that,
You just take it and go.
do your thing.
Yeah.
make it big, make it what
And sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes you have clients who know exactly what they want,
Yeah.
how they want it done, and you do it.
Yeah, and sometimes that gives you a little break. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, okay, I don't have to be the creative one. On
Yep,
there.
I just follow what I'm supposed to do,
and we get it done.
yeah, and it's I'd say it's really nice to have a balance of the both, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I mean, that must mean you guys work well under pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get, so I've had waves where like you work under pressure, whether, I've taken on some really odd contracting jobs and carpentry jobs, and I actually hit a pretty good wave of them where I was just like doing something totally different, like every day for months. And then it was almost like when you went back to the normal basic thing, it's almost like you don't even know how. You know what I mean? Like
Kind of forget a little bit.
yeah, and it's like I don't know. It's just a kind of a different mindset in the way like you're out of routine. Out of routine becomes
Yeah.
routine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you go back to routine. You're like, okay,
Like I need to rework this muscle memory
Yeah.
so that I can
Yeah.
gain that back.
It's a funny thing with the ebbs and flows that you'll go through with what type of jobs you get and what do you need, sir?
The water.
Oh, sure. And you guys suggested lemons. That was awesome.
That is like
think we're gonna-
his necessity whenever we are out.
Yeah.
Water with lemon, and
Good to
it's really nice when people are like, "Oh, we don't have lemons, we have limes." And he's like,
Not the
"Uh,
same thing.
I'll take it, but it's not the same."
Yeah. So
That's like the Coke Pepsi dispute. Right? I know people that only drink Coke, and they'll go to a restaurant and they're like, "Oh, all we have is Pepsi. Is that okay?" And they're like, "No."
That's my mom.
That's both of our moms,
Yeah.
actually. It's always, "Oh, is Pepsi okay?" No, no. But as a Diet Coke gal, I understand.
Yeah.
I roomed with a buddy that was Diet Coke all the way. He could not do regular Coke or Pepsi or Diet Pepsi. He was just like, it was something about Diet
It's just the
Coke.
taste,
Yeah.
The best is from McDonald's, a nice fountain.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't think that's a dispute though.
That McDonald's has the best fountain drinks ever.
Yeah, whenever you
Coke
find
or Diet.
whenever you find a restaurant that's
Don't make up a word.
no when they are, what do you call it, when they're not stingy with the Coke
Syrup?
side. Yeah, the syrup. Yeah, they're not stingy about it, and it doesn't taste watered down.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
Flat.
mean? When they-
Right? Yeah,
when
exactly.
they mix it the way you want it.
Yep.
So yeah, it's nice to find those places.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
I would say just come on down and support. Get out of your house. Come check out this event because it's going to be something very different. I can guarantee you that, actually. And it's very beneficial. And come and support. You're all local other women-owned businesses that are out there that you don't know about. And even if you're not a women-owned business, just come and support, and a lot of free goodies. I would say better things than a chapstick and a T-shirt.
Right? That's nice.
Come out and
I mean, I'd be happy with a
Kyle
chapstick.
loves chapstick. Kyle has a
no,
problem.
I like it, but sometimes it just goes in the junk drawers. You don't want the little knickknacks. We'll give you stuff that's for use,
With value.
Yeah.
and free food, and come out and try some drinks, and it's just nice.
Yep. So for any of you out there planning an event, I would definitely check out From Sun to Moon, creating intimate and immersive spaces for everyone. From Sun to Moon 22 at gmail.com. Their phone number is 720-384-8477. Their Instagram handle is From Sun to Moon 22, no spacing.
Where'd the 22 come from?
That was our year.
Well, we met at a prior job, but we did our first event together on April 22nd.
Earth Day.
Earth Day.
Ah,
Okay.
that's cool.
So it was the first event we ever did together, and that was, yeah.
That's
kinda-
our mark.
Either
22.
that, or maybe from Sun to Moon regular is already taken. And add another number.
I will say, when I was searching for you, there were quite a few, and that's
Yeah.
why I texted you. And I was like, "Is this you guys?"
Yeah, Sun to Moon is just a really special part of our relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we brought that meeting into our business, and it's different. Some people are like, "Oh, I love that," and some people are like, "Oh, that's different."
Is there a meaning behind Sun to Moon? I don't.
So we love an artist. His name is Anise, and one of his songs is called "Sun to Moon."
oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and or "Sun and Moon"
Yeah.
is the song.
Oh, okay.
And when we were maybe a month into dating, we were living in a house together, and he brought a celloist over who was playing. He's awesome. His name is Jay West. He was playing, and he started playing alongside the Sun and Moon song, and he asked me to be his girlfriend, and so it's just, a little sappy
Oh, he did.
moment. Yes, him, not the cellist. And so yeah, that song, it's kind of become like our song, as cliche as that is. But yeah, so it's just a little thing that is special to us, that we don't necessarily go into the backstory all the time. But just now having this business, it's just like a little like
It's ours.
what's the word?
Yeah.
Like an ode to our relationship.
Yeah.
And just how we started.
Yeah, that's
Where are we
cool.
going?
That makes it more special too.
That is,
Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome. And it's funny to see some of the couples that can work together and some that can't work together.
Yes. And I think in all aspects of, people in relationships who do work together, everyone needs their alone time.
Yo,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you work together or not, everyone needs their
actually,
alone time.
he does not need alone time ever. That's the worst for him.
Just extroverted.
Yeah.
Extroverted,
That happens.
Sometimes I found that people like me, I need to recharge my battery by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Other people recharge when they're with others.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's totally different.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd say we started out working together
Yeah.
before we were even together. So I think that pushed us. We knew how we both were as workers,
Right.
and people. And so honestly, I feel like if anything, it just elevates us onto this other level now working together, and just the different strengths that we have that we both bring to the table, and just being able to bounce ideas off each other all the time and just have those ideas and execute them together. It's just really nice. And
Yeah, I'll say, a good relationship is when someone knows exactly who you are and still wants to be with you.
yes, yep, with all the attitude that I had and all,
All of us.
my family will never let me forget it, but at least he doesn't, spite me for it. I mean, you
don't
gotta
have to.
love each other for
Yeah.
everything, the
Yeah.
flaws, the weaknesses, the strengths,
Yeah.
all of them. But
Yeah.
I'd say it's definitely, it just enhances us,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and it just makes us appreciate our work and our relationship even more, especially to come together. And that's not to say that we don't argue, especially
Oh,
doing, these events where I need him somewhere, but someone needs him somewhere else. And, we're all one person, but he can act like five people, just can't exactly separate into
Wait.
five people.
A man that knows how to multitask. We've found him.
All over the place all the time, but I'd say that's just what makes us a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah. Plus, you're doing something, one, that you love, which makes it easier, but two, bringing a community together, right? So like the positivity behind all that, and so that makes it a lot easier than, one, if you hated doing it, and two, if it really didn't give you that like warm feeling inside, and the feeling of gratitude that you can do this for a community and all these other businesses that want to come on, which shows that you don't have any spots left, right?
Yeah.
There were plenty of businesses that
Which is
wanted to come
amazing.
on.
Yeah.
You only have a few spots.
We have a
Oh,
few.
sorry.
We had them booked up, but we know that people back out or
Yeah.
something happens, or so
Yeah.
you still might lose a couple, but we know that happens, and so they might open up back up, or they may not, but still have a couple spots open.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
For anybody out there that wants to set up a booth or just peruse through all the other vendors, March 2nd, 2024, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., free to attend as a peruser. If you want a booth, you have to call 720-384-8477, and they will hook you up with a booth. And it is at Hope Lodge Venue, 1 Lake Street, Moosup, Connecticut, 06354. I look forward to it. I hope I putting it on the calendar for sure. So we'll
We'll
try
see if
and
we can
stop
shoot
in.
down there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Do a pop up.
Yeah.
And it's family friendly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
bring
Right.
Yeah.
everyone out, bring the family out. It's
Yeah.
a Saturday. Take the day out and then just, come support and enjoy. And, the biggest part for us is always the relationships that get built, not just with us and the vendors, but with the vendors in the community.
Right.
And like we said, I mean, we've told so many people about Moosup, Connecticut, and they're like, "Where's that?" So you're bringing a new crowd to an area that they've never even heard of. People say that they've been in Connecticut their whole lives, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're going towards Rhode Island. It's more towards the border," and so it's really nice to even see that, like people who have been here all their lives that don't know a certain area, and now we're going to bring them to that area,
Right.
and just make everyone aware of this amazing venue. And Susie, the owner, I mean, they are amazing there. And if you have never been to Hope Lodge since their remodel, is beautiful.
Nice.
And we're just excited to go and do our thing in it and just bring everyone around.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing we can hook you guys up with as far as networking is like the Plainfield Business Association, Killingly Business Association, Brooklyn Business Association.
Yep.
There's Putnam Business Association, and there's Woodstock Business Association.
Yeah.
So, like every little town has those
Yeah.
as well. So, we can definitely try and get you on, and hopefully, this podcast goes somewhere where someone will reach out, and that's always been kind of the goal, is to provide more business for our local business entrepreneurs.
It's important.
And my future goal is to really you got on the Community Workbench podcast, and then you had like 10 new people, 10 new clients, just something like that would be amazing for this.
Which
platform.
it will.
will.
It will.
Trying.
And we'll get someone out of this.
When it happens.
When.
I also want to make sure everybody knows that we are accessible. We are not hard to get an interview out of.
As we've noticed right here,
Especially Matt.
they've added one on for us. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
no problem.
we try to keep it Monday nights at 6, and also we'll see what our children's sports.
Yeah. But we do barter, which is what we did
Yeah.
today. So
The sports schedules are going to be coming up, I'm sure, and see
Yeah.
what happens. We may have to move nights, maybe, or who knows.
Yeah.
But right now we're booked Mondays at 6 out into April, and like I said, if you want to come on the podcast, and it's usually a totally new experience for us people in New England, because we stick to the old school.
I love podcasts. I
Opens
am
up.
a heavy podcast
She is.
listener, as
Yeah.
he can attest to, at home, at the gym. So this is the only one I've ever been on, which is first.
Yeah.
It's super exciting. It's definitely weird to be on the other side. Be like, oh, this is what people are hearing,
yeah.
and
It'll be weirder when you watch it.
I've never really liked doing that. I was an entertainer growing up, so I was a dancer. When I got into high school, I was in a cappella doing the
Yeah.
musicals.
Wow.
So I'm, very used to the stage, but watching those back is something that just does not interests me because it's when you start to pick out every little detail and
Oh yeah, but
when-
if you're gonna take the video and then edit it and chop it up, you will have to see parts of it.
yeah, yeah. You know, I used to do that on my iMovie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just chop those, music videos that my age used to do when I was in middle school, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think it ever gets easier
No.
seeing
Yeah.
or listening to yourself.
I find it funny. This is the only podcast I've ever been on too, but I listen to a lot of them. Going back to me being crazy extrovert, when I am alone, I usually have to put on a podcast to make it feel like someone's around.
It's just that nice background,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
kind of feel like you're in this conversation. And like sometimes if we're listening to like one of the ones I listen to in the car together, we're having conversations about it, and then
Yeah.
it just sparks up
Yeah.
just other conversation that you wouldn't have had. And I just think they're so nice, and you do really
Yeah.
feel like you're just having a conversation with someone, whether you're listening or you're on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can gain knowledge. You can gain. My most valuable part of that is just that the laughter I get. I listen to a lot of comedians.
Yeah.
And I love laughing. And so it can, like a song, can put you in a different mood
Yeah.
just like that, yeah. No, I get it. That's awesome. I'm so glad you guys reached out and got
Yeah,
to
thank you
get on
so
here.
much.
And,
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
once again, go check out their work. From Sun to Moon, we'll be doing the event Women's Own, Women Empowered on March 2nd, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Hope Lodge venue, One Lake, Moosup, Connecticut, 06354. Thanks for watching, everyone. Join us Monday, February 12th, when we interview the owners of Sawdust Coffee House and Dessert Bar. They have two locations, one in Sturbridge and one in Putnam. Speaking of Putnam, this Saturday is Fire and Ice Festival. Drop in at Sawdust, and we will hear about it Monday. I am really,
Yeah, we frequent there.
yeah, Kyle and I will be at Fire and Ice, and then to hear about that experience. I don't know if you know this, but up in Putnam, this is when about 50,000 people go through Putnam Main
Yeah.
Street in Putnam. It's
I
a
didn't know that.
huge event.
Okay.
I'll go there. I'll be there helping out at 7 a.m. setting up ice benches, and I think the Young Marines and the Boy Scouts will be there with Putnam Business Association and all of their volunteers, and we set up space heaters and help others, because there's some of the bars get to do like an outdoor barricade so they can serve drinks outdoors, and some of them usually get ice luges for taking shots. I know Remax Bell Park will be there with the cold air balloon and the basket for the hot air balloon. And then you'll be able to get in the basket, take a picture, and you get to fire off the fire.
That
And-
sounds
That's amazing.
awesome. We're definitely
that free?
have to look into that.
What's that? Yeah, you
Oh,
just
yeah.
go to Putnam, find a parking spot, and
Maybe get there
walk-
early. It sounds like a
walk
lot of
in.
people
Sounds
are going
like
to
a
be
lot of
there.
people.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the ice carver. So like, there's two different types. So some people just order a professionally done ice carving, and then there are people that buy a block and then go there and carve their logo into it and stuff like that. It's
That's
pretty
really cool.
Yeah, it's
Check that out.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
Putnam has incredible events. There,
Is that how far is that from here?
It's only 15
15
minutes,
minutes
north,
north.
up 395.
395.
But they do incredible. The business association puts on awesome events that they get a lot of people to.
Check
And
it out.
and they're all free. You just walk around. If you want to spend money in the restaurants and stuff, you
Right.
do. And if you don't, you just enjoy the atmosphere and so forth. They also do First Fridays in the
Yeah.
summer.
That's
And
like
they have,
art.
yeah, they have like a little festival on the first Friday of every month. So,
Yeah, but
Definitely.
that's kind of
Would you say that it's animal friendly?
oh yeah,
We have service
yeah.
animal.
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can walk around with them, and
Okay.
yeah, a lot of people bring their animals.
And even most of the little shops will allow you to walk a
Yeah.
dog
Yeah.
inside, and as long as
Nice.
you're on a leash
Yep.
and they're not, being
Yeah.
obnoxious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Sometimes they throw Kyle out, and I get to keep.
I'm not the one that talks to everybody, so that's probably unlikely.
Like if anyone's getting kicked out,
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's the extrovert. I feel like I'm being generalized. Anyway, yeah, check out Fire and Ice Festival and check out on March 2nd the Sun to Moon's big event, big women's owned, women empowered expose. Is that, or is it just expo?
Just an event.
Yeah, an event. Anyway, as always, buy local, hire local, dine local, volunteer local, and donate local. Have great days.